Thank you for joining us today. I'm Marcus Schatz. I'm the president of Conrad Grebel University College, and I'm pleased to welcome all of you to Grebel's 2025 Convocation celebration. We are here to celebrate your upcoming graduation from University of Waterloo. Some of you are completing master's degrees in peace and conflict studies or theological studies. Some of you have majored or minored or completed another designation in music or peace and conflict studies. And many of you have been part of our residence community here at Grebel. You're all important at Grebel, and we're grateful that you've been part of our community these last few years. It kind of goes without saying that most of you aren't actually graduating today. And I'm sorry to bring this up, but some of you may not have even been finished with your papers and exams yet. The reason we planned this event early in April is because everyone is still here on campus, and we want to celebrate and say goodbye before you scatter and leave. Our Masters of Theological Study students are the exception. They will receive their hoods today. Everyone else will officially receive their degrees at university convocations later on in the year, and we encourage all of you to attend those events. Completing at university is an accomplishment, and it's a good thing to celebrate, and it's okay to celebrate it twice. Our graduating cohort is smaller than usual this year, and that's because most of the undergraduates who will cross the floor today arrived here in September 2020, in the first months of the pandemic. We were only able to offer single rooms, and so the capacity of our residence was cut in half. And you students carried on through online learning and face masks and plastic dividers on dining room tables, and also waiting for your lives to return to some kind of normalcy. Those of us who are on the stage and do this every year, for us, our memories of this event can bleed together from year to year, but I know that I will always remember this day in particular, and this cohort of graduates in particular. And I want to thank you for enduring everything that you had to put up with during the pandemic. And more importantly, I'm deeply thankful for your part in keeping the spirit and energy of the college alive through hard times. Conrad Grebel was founded by Mennonites and remains formally affiliated with Mennonite Church Eastern Canada. Joining us today are Dr. Anthony Segrist, the Executive Minister of Mennonite Church Eastern Canada, and Reverend Louise Weidman, who serves on our Board of Governors. Our celebration today includes things that are important to Mennonites and to Christians more generally when we gather for important events. So we will sing and we will pray, and we do this in a spirit of sharing and of offering something from our tradition. You're welcome to join us, and you're equally welcome not to join us according to your own inclination. Finishing university is a serious accomplishment, but this celebration is also intended to be joyful. And you're all welcome to express your joy. And in particular, if there are any families with young children or babies, please don't feel like you should have to leave the room or cover their mouths if they happen to express their joy or any other feelings. Let them be part of this gathering in their own way. Conrad Grebel University College is located on the traditional territory of the Attawandaron, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. The college and the University of Waterloo were built on the Haldimand Tract, the land granted in 1784 to the Six Nations, which includes 10 kilometers on each side of the Grand River from its source in Dundalk to its mouth at Lake Erie. Mennonites from Pennsylvania were the first permanent settlers of European descent here in Waterloo region. In the early 1800s, the initial settlers were led to the Grand River with its surrounding fertile soil and forests by a guide from the Mississauga of the Anishinaabe peoples who lived here and understood the land. There are stories passed down in the Mennonite community from those early days that suggest neighborly interactions among settlers and indigenous peoples, trade and mutual aid and assistance. However, as the settlement grew, the Mississauga were displaced from these lands, and until recently, Mennonites and other settlers expressed little curiosity about what happened to their Indigenous neighbors. Conrad Grebel is committed to the work of relearning our history with all of its complications and complicities as a step towards right relations with Indigenous peoples. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce our convocation speaker, Cesar Garcia. Cesar has served as the General Secretary of Mennonite World Conference since 2011. MWC is a global network of churches in the Anabaptist Mennonite tradition, and its primary work is to build connection and solidarity and unity among those churches and with the wider Christian church. Cesar's work gives him a unique perspective on many questions: how to think about our identity, how we think about diversity, and how to generate solidarity and unity among very different people. This year is the 500th anniversary of the beginnings of the Anabaptist movement, and so we thought it was fitting to invite Cesar here for this celebration. And it's also worth noting that it's a very busy year for Cesar with that anniversary, so I thank him for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you, President Marcus Chance, for inviting me to participate in today's celebration. Dear graduates, family members, friends, faculty, and staff, it is an honor to be part of this momentous occasion, the 2025 convocation ceremony at Conrad Grebel University College. It is truly delightful to feel the intense emotions that are filling this auditorium today. You are closing a significant chapter in your life story. You made it. Several experiences have brought you to this moment. Many individuals have impacted your life in ways that have led you here. Your story, choices, aspirations, and dreams have all shaped this day. Now you gaze towards the future with expectations and new dreams, accompanied by different goals and hopes for what lies ahead. Unfortunately, we are living in uncertain times. This uncertainty makes it difficult to envision the future with hope. In the wake of a global pandemic, the current political landscape has drained optimism from many people's lives. During these challenging times, there is an urgent need for new leaders who can inspire hope by imagining new futures and motivating others to join them in creating those possibilities. Recent research by Gallup, the multinational company known for its public opinion polls, revealed that what people globally need most from their leaders today is hope. The most important quality that followers of these leaders desire from them remains remarkably consistent around the world: the universality of hope. In three of the oldest religious traditions, there is a story of a leader who brought hope to enslaved people, forging a new reality of freedom and prosperity that is difficult to envision considering the oppression they endured. I encourage you to reflect on one of the most significant passages in the scriptures of Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions. It features a person wrestling with a reality that is not as it ought to be. The book of Exodus, chapters 3 and chapters 4, tells that story. You may be familiar with this passage. I will read some excerpts. Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led his flock beyond the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of a bush. He looked, and the bush was blazing, yet it was not consumed. Then the Lord said, I have observed the misery of my people who are in Egypt. I have heard their cry on account of their taskmasters. Indeed, I know their sufferings, and I have come down to deliver them from the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land to a good and broad land, a land flowing with milk and honey. So come, I will send you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. Moses' narrative and his call to serve in Exodus are crucial passages for grasping the Bible's perspective on leadership. According to the Exodus, leadership signifies an invitation to take action. In other words, if you encounter a problem, God may be calling you to commit yourself to being part of the solution. The story continues. But Moses said to God, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" God said, I will be with you. But Moses said to God, if I come to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your ancestors has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What should I say to them? God responded, you should say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. Then Moses answered, but suppose they do not believe me or listen to me, but they say the Lord did not appear to you. God grants Moses several miracles to serve as evidence for the people of Israel. Moses then replies, "Oh, my Lord, I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor even now that you have spoken to your servant. But I am slow of speech and slow of tongue." Then the Lord said to him, "Who gives speech to mortals? Who makes them mute or deaf, seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, and I will be with your mouth and teach you what you are to speak." But he said, "Oh, my Lord, please send someone else." Then the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. Among the 5 occasions when Moses questions God's call to serve, only one truly disturbs God: Moses' refusal to take action. A leader takes responsibility and acts. In times of uncertainty, some people shut their eyes, while others wait for someone else to step in. Others may complain or criticize, and some choose to give up. Leaders take action. If you recognize a need, God may be calling you to act and contribute to the solution. In biblical narratives like this one, we learn how God invites us to participate. God often does not do it for us. Rather, God works through us. True leaders do not merely manage. They cultivate the conditions for God's purposes to be fulfilled, and that instills hope. Many people look to the Bible for leaders to emulate. Noah is described as righteous and blameless, and David was a man after God's own heart. However, according to the scripture, no other prophet arose like Moses. He is a pivotal figure. In what ways does Moses serve as a role or model to follow? In this narrative, Moses responds to God 5 times. In 2 instances, he speaks negatively about the Israelites, and in one, he outright refuses to act. What about the other 2 responses? In the other 2 responses, Moses conveys his sense of inadequacy. He asserts that he is not eloquent enough. He feels inarticulate and tongue-tied. He views himself as a nobody. He feels insufficient. God's responses to Moses are intriguing. He neither denies Moses' weaknesses nor punishes him for them. On the contrary, it seems that God agrees with Moses. I am becoming increasingly convinced that God often selects individuals to lead, not because of their abilities and talents, but due to their weaknesses. There is a pattern observed among leaders in what Christians refer to as the Old Testament. Saul lacks courage and confidence. David seems an unlikely candidate for kingship in his family's eyes. Moses, Elijah, Jeremiah, and Jonah struggle with depression. While in Greek mythology, the battles heroes confront are against their foes, in biblical narratives, the primary conflicts that leaders face are against themselves. Fears, hesitations, and a sense of inadequacy. This is also a captivating pattern in the lives of many historical leaders. Abraham Lincoln, Churchill, Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Michelangelo, Beethoven, and Van Gogh. Each of them encountered depression. It seems that success, both in scripture and in everyday life, is not measured by the absence of failures, but by the capacity to recover and rediscover a renewed sense of purpose. In Scripture, it is often not victories that define leaders, but rather how they cope with their defeats. Being aware of our weaknesses makes us vulnerable. It allows us to avoid seeking others' approval. We don't need to chase fame or conform to what others expect us to be. We recognize that we are called to act despite our weaknesses, or even because of them. Our dependence on God becomes evident through our weaknesses. The composer Berlioz once stated about a young man, quote, "He knows everything. The one thing he lacks is inexperience," end quote. Let's embrace our inexperience, shortcomings, and weaknesses and trust in God to guide us through. Today, after more than 3,000 years, Moses stands as a beacon of hope and leadership, revered by three major religions for his pivotal role in monotheistic faith. Countless leaders and kings have risen and fallen, yet none have left a legacy quite like Moshe's. How do we want to be remembered? Let us unite as instruments of God's promise, rising to meet the challenges of our time with courage and conviction. Let us commit to meaningful action and be part of the solution that our world desperately needs. Rather than seeking validation through performance, let us embrace our vulnerabilities, as they can become powerful tools in God's hands, bringing hope and healing to our society today.
As the house lights are brought up, I invite you to turn to page 23 in your program and stand as you are able to sing the hymn, "Sing a New World into Being."
Good afternoon. I am Troy Osborne, and as Dean of Conrad Grebel University College, it will be my honor and privilege to present to you the undergraduate students who will be receiving University of Waterloo degrees in June or October of this year. As Marcus has noted, we're honoring them today because they are completing academic programs offered at Conrad Grebel, or they have made Grebel their residence community for a significant part of their time here at the University of Waterloo. As we celebrate their accomplishments today, we acknowledge that many of them may still have exams, final projects, or even theses to complete. And once all that academic work is completed and assessed, they will receive their University of Waterloo's degrees. So we say today is a celebration of hopeful expectation. So, students, during your time here, the entire Grebel community has come to know you and value your ideas, all your talents and your hopes and your dreams. When you cross the stage to be congratulated by President Shantz, Jesse Rieser-Rempel, and by the heads of Grebel's academic programs, know that all of us in the college are present in these gestures. And there will be gifts provided to all students today back at Conrad Grebel following the celebration. So, we will begin this afternoon by honoring the undergraduates who will receive their bachelor degrees in June or October. Many of them are studying in all the faculties at the university: arts, health, engineering, environment, mathematics, or science. And some of them have actually taken programs, majors or minors in music and peace and conflict studies at Grebel. And many of them were part of the Grebel residence community while studying here. Some associated, some joined to the community, but they have all enriched our lives at Grebel. Thank you. So a few instructions for the undergraduates and for everybody. In a few minutes, I'm going to invite the first row of undergraduate students, that's the second row here, to stand and make their way to the stage. I will call each of you by name and invite you to approach the microphone and share briefly about your plans after graduation, after which you will cross behind me to shake everyone's hand there, Marcus and all the heads and Jesse's hand. Then when you're finished, we invite you to just wait to return to your seats at the side before going down. To the audience, it is an exciting day, lots to celebrate, and I'll invite you to join me in enthusiastic applause after all the students have been acknowledged and passed through the reception line here. In other words, I invite you to hold your applause until the very end. So at this time, I do invite the first row of undergraduates to come to the stage. So, Mobolawaran Adewusi.
I will be graduating in June, and then afterwards, wish me luck.
Annette Allen.
I will be finishing up one more term before going to grad school.
Maya Elizabeth Aurini.
I will be pursuing a master's in developmental and communication sciences at the University of Waterloo.
Bui Nwak Vang Hach.
In the summer, I'll be looking for a job and probably getting back into my hobbies.
Kayla Burmaster.
I will be going on a road trip with my friends Megan and Alyssa, and then the world is my oyster, and I shall look for work.
Belle Cairns.
This fall, I will be starting a PhD in medieval studies at the University of Notre Dame.
Willow Carmount.
I'm working as a U.S. specialist at a pharmaceutical textile.
All right. William Chung.
I will be traveling to Japan with my brother, and after that, I will go back to Hong Kong and spend a wonderful time with my family.
Soo-young Choi.
I'll be starting career in tech and also be doing one more year of varsity swimming here at Waterloo.
Ashlyn DeBoer.
This May, I'm going to be starting my master's degree in environmental biology and ecology here at the University of Waterloo.
Nathan De Silva.
I will be traveling and then leading a team of software developers at a technology startup.
Kyle Ferrier.
I will be marrying the love of my life, traveling for a couple months, and then starting my career in control systems software engineering.
Ella Enns Funk.
In September, I will be starting my law degree at Queen's University.
Megan Hudson.
I will be going on a road trip with Kayla and Alyssa, and then starting my Master's of Health Science in Speech Pathology at U of T in the fall.
Artemi Yagovet.
I will be starting my Master's in Computer Science here at Waterloo.
Jordan Kalist.
I will be graduating in October and then continuing in asynchronous job that I'm currently working part-time in.
Aliyah Netch.
I'll be job hunting for now, and then at some point I'll be starting my master's in developmental psychology. And I'll also be planning my wedding this summer.
Marcus Laboon.
I will be graduating in June and will hopefully continue on with an accelerated nursing program in the fall.
Stephanie Nicole Leeper.
I'll be working towards getting my professional engineering license.
Awan Leahy.
I will be moving to Toronto in May to start work.
Sebastian Lingertant.
I will be starting a Master's of Environmental Science at Queen's.
Bruce Liu.
I will be taking a much needed break, and then I'll let the winds guide me to my next destination. Thank you.
Mia Lutz.
I will be spending the next year focusing on creative projects before starting a master's in counseling psychology.
Anna Mahler.
I will also be taking a bit of a break and traveling across Canada with my partner.
Amy Matsuo.
In the fall, I'll be starting Teachers College at the University of Ottawa.
Anna Miller Buza.
I will be finishing my undergrad in the fall before traveling Europe for a bit and then hopefully starting a master's in plant biology.
Vladimir Christian Michael Molotchek.
I will be doing my best in a week and a half at my grad recital, finishing off some community choir commissions, and then taking a good long rest.
Ali Moran.
I will be continuing my education in prosthetics.
Brennan Morley.
I will be gardening.
Anya Murray.
I will be graduating in October and then taking a year off to travel before hopefully starting a graduate degree.
Merve Ayanama Mwankin.
I have one more term to complete, and afterwards, I'll leave it into God's hands.
Vedat Oskan.
I'm going to get better at the piano and learn how to compose good music.
Abigail Alyssa Herzog.
I will be graduating in October and then applying for future international internships.
Sophia Pettit.
I think this will be a period of discovery for me as I explore a potential career and also postgrad.
Ashley Plant.
I will be moving to the Dominican Republic to teach at an English high school before continuing my education at Teachers College.
Julian P.G. Riches.
I'm currently working as a CYW with the public school board. Hopefully, in the fall, I will be in my master's social work program at Laurier.
Arya Skrbovic.
Hello again. After this, I'm going to rest for as long as I can stand before continuing my creative pursuits.
Chloe Shantz.
I'm going to be auditioning for local music opportunities and finishing my first novel.
Curtis Strike.
I will be working for the city of Richmond Hill and moving to a town with the same name as me.
Shinran Shu.
Hi, I will be graduating this June, and I will also keep on research on piano adaptations on Chinese folk music, and heartfelt appreciation for all my friends, my family members that keep supporting me for all the time. And also thanks Professor Kate, Professor Anna, Professor Maisie, and Professor Mark. Thank you so much.
Robbie Jolgamy.
I'll be spending the summer traveling, being with my family back home in Europe, and then please pray for me to find an IT job for the fall. Thank you.
Jackie Tracy.
I will be starting my career in engineering, hopefully working towards my PN.
Claire Tracy.
I will be beginning a master's in speech-language pathology in September.
Alyssa Johanna Luberta van Galen.
I will be going on a road trip with Megan and Kayla. And then in the fall, I plan to start my master's in theoretical physics at Perimeter Institute here in Waterloo.
Elizabeth Kathlena Brooks Walkington.
In the fall, I plan to attend Trent University for their compressed nursing program.
Selah Woelk.
I'm grateful for a chance to rest this summer, garden, spend time with family, and make music before pursuing further work and studies in peace building.
So once they return to their seats, so I invite all the undergrads to stand at this time, and then all of us in here give them a warm and hearty round of applause and congratulations for them. You turn on your face.
You can be seated. I have the pleasure of introducing this year's undergraduate valedictorian, Selah Woelk. Selah joined the Grebel community as a resident and Peace and Conflict Studies student in 2020 and has been heavily involved in all corners of Grebel life in her 5 years here. As a student, she is completing her major in Peace and Conflict Studies, a minor in music, and a specialization in restorative justice. Within the residence program, Selah has been heavily involved both formally and informally. She has been a student ambassador, orientation week leader, Dawn, chapel committee member, and a co-op student in the Center for Peace Advancement. She's also played a lead role in 2 Grebel musicals and was a member of the core team for Grebel's recent production of The Clockmaker's Daughter. Selah's warm personality and passion for inclusion and hospitality helps everyone she encounters at Grebel feel at home in her presence. Please join me in welcoming Selah.
Good afternoon. Conrad Grebel staff, professors, friends and family, and my fellow Grebelites. Thank you for coming together today to say goodbye and celebrate what comes next. I stand up here with some disbelief and also with gratitude for the opportunity to reflect on what Grebel has meant to me, to us, and I know this place has shaped us all in different ways. The world we entered university in is a very different place than the one that we are graduating into. And similarly, we're different than the people who first walked through the doors at Grebel. I started my time at Grebel as a virtual resident in fall 2020, doing online classes from my parents' kitchen table, looking forward to Zoom choir and Wednesday weekly waves where I got to see the Grebel community on my computer screen. When I moved into residence, we weren't allowed to have anyone but ourselves in our single rooms. All of us graduates encountered Grebel amidst challenges that made connection and community more difficult. Construction, staff turnovers, watching the world enter and emerge from a pandemic. But throughout all this, there's something about Grebel that was a constant, life-giving, grounding presence for me. What made it so that even in online classes, I knew that my Grebel professors cared about the concepts we were learning, about the music I was making, about me and my learning. Why do some of my favorite memories come from a time where I couldn't enter my friends' rooms or give them hugs or even sit across the table from them without a plastic barrier in the way? What is it that made Grebel Grebel amidst all of these changes? Well, for one thing, we fill the table. In 2020, we still gathered to eat meals around a table together. When it was a struggle to hear each other through thick plastic shower curtain barriers, we were still intentional about listening. Around the table at Grebel, you find deep hospitality. A Grebel table is a place to encounter new things, new people, new ideas, new parts of yourself, to sit down with them, to listen to them, and welcome them. At the table, we ask questions. Whether the question is simply, how's your day going? Or what feat of engineering would it take to build the Grunnel, a Grebel tunnel under Laurel Creek so we didn't have to walk to class in the cold? Grebel can be a place to get curious, to have mealtime conversations with friends from different countries, religious backgrounds, or academic faculties, to expand your perspective. The fact that each of us leaving this place on different paths, with different dreams and different ways of being in the world, and yet had this chance for connection here at Grebel is so inspiring. At Grebel, we open our doors. We uphold traditions that may seem silly, but bring us together. We open our doors to allow those walking by to stop, say hi, and check in. It's hard to struggle at Grebel without someone noticing. And opening yourself up to being seen and known is scary. Community takes courage. It's difficult, but when done intentionally, you end up with a network of support that can carry you through tumultuous times. Community means there are people present to walk with you through those questions of university, asking, who am I? How do I adult? Did I choose the right degree? What do I want my life to look like in the future? I was reflecting on what to write in this speech as I walked back from one of my final classes of university, and I encountered a whole collection of Grebelites, from first years to fifth years, who stopped me along the path to Grebel with waves and hugs and hi Selahs, and I was struck with the power of this place. This is what Grebel can do, filling the table, being curious, being intentional, opening our doors, creates belonging. A place to feel seen, heard, known, and loved. When I tell people in the real world that my degree is in peace and conflict studies, I often hear, oh good, we need people doing that, along with some exasperated sigh about the state of the world. And I think the world we are entering into can feel scary, with what seems like increasing division and polarization, which makes me even more grateful for my time here at Grebel. We need places like Grebel that bring people together in community to listen to one another, support and care for each other, and connect intentionally across boundaries. Grebel shows us what community can do, what life can be like. I'm sad to leave this place, but Grebel isn't a space we're meant to stay forever. I hope that we can see this sadness as a gift, representing the gift that Grebel has been for us. The ways that it has touched each of us throughout our degrees, shaped who we are and who we will become. As we leave this place, I wonder, what will you carry forward from this time? I am so grateful for the precious time spent at Grebel, studying, singing, connecting, living for the home that Grebel has been. That in this place, I had the chance to know and learn from all of you. To know the kind of hospitality, support, and belonging that Grebel creates. Now that we're no longer walking up the path from campus or along West Mountain Road home to Grebel, as we head out into the wilderness of what comes next, I hope that you will listen deeply to those across the table from you. You will have the courage to continue building community, that we can all foster spaces of care, support, and belonging wherever we go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, choir members. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Selah, for your words today. It's been very inspiring. The next set of honorees are those students who will receive the degree of Master of Peace and Conflict Studies from the University of Waterloo in June or October. They are wearing master's gowns this afternoon to recognize their graduate accomplishments. I would now like to ask the MPAC students to stand and move towards the stage. I will then invite you to give your name, and then you'll move behind me to shake hands with President Shantz and Dr. Rainer Neufeld, and then you may return to your seat at the time. So please come forward at this time. Afnan Alim.
Good afternoon, everyone. My plan after finishing the graduation is to continue the work that I've been doing. I'm a humanitarian worker working in crisis management and humanitarian response for the last 20 years, but most probably doing it far much better than I've been doing in the previous 20 years. After getting in my degree, I would like to thank my family that helped me out, Momina, Mehdi, Heather, and Salah, and most importantly, all of the faculty members here, especially Dr. Rena and Thomas and Dr. Nathan. Without their inspiration, perhaps this would not have been possible. Thank you.
Rachel Louise Einen.
Thank you. So after graduating, I'm going to try to take the studies and things that I've learned here into transformation of the process of family law in Ontario. And I would like to thank my professors and also the fascinating students that I met in the program.
Hugh Ting Fiona Lee.
I hope
to keep advocating for system change with Indigenous partners to eliminate the mass incarceration of Indigenous women.
Zoe Mascio.
I would like to further my advocacy for a free Palestine, Sudan, Congo, and all people who are being oppressed, displaced, and killed in the name of money, land, resources, and imperialist greed.
Rajan Prasad Pokharel.
I'm really excited to have graduated from Conrad Grebel University College at the University of Waterloo. I thank all professors and staff and all the members of the university. I'm really very much thankful. And I think that I should start working as a peace worker in my days to come. And I also think that I should be a writer of creative writing. Thank you so much.
Colin Joseph McCartney.
I'm looking forward to going to work tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, get up, go to work, try to make the world a better place. And I'm not going on a road trip with Megan and Kelly, but hopefully with my wife. And hopefully with my wife. You got that, eh, Jude? So thank you to the professors. Thank you for everybody. This has been a good day. Thank you.
Ojulu Obang Goy.
Okay, before I just say what my future is, I want just to thank the amazing professors who have been with me in my journey during the studies. Professor Rihanna, Professor Jonah, Professor Nathan, Professor Eric, Professor Narin, Paul, and Professor Carol. Thank you so much for the support that you have done for me. So my future is just looking for a job to change the job that I'm doing now after graduation. Thank you so much.
Nasim Fatima Rasulipur.
We did it! I would like to continue the peace work that I have learned. Got some abilities. I would like to continue that. Kind of starting to heal the world piece by piece, one conflict at a time. But way to go. Thank you.
Zhenyuan Zhou.
I will listen to Lana Del Rey's new album, and I will ask my friend Annie to take me to her family farm.
As I return to a seat, I invite you all to stand and turn, and I invite everyone here to join me in congratulating the MPACS class of 2025. Congratulations. So students in the Master of Theological Studies program receive a conjoint degree from both Conrad Grebel University College and the University of Waterloo. Today, we provisionally confer the degree with the authority granted to the college. So we symbolize this action by having Dr. Carol Penner, director of the program, hood the graduates. The University of Waterloo will soon confirm the completion of all degree requirements and will award the degree and present the diploma at the appropriate convocation ceremony in June or October. President Schatz, I am pleased to present these candidates to you for the degree Master of Theological Studies. They have been approved for graduation by the Board of Governors of Conrad Grebel University College, pending completion of all requirements in their program of studies.
By virtue of the authority granted to me by the Board of Governors of Conrad Grebel University College and the Province of Ontario, and pending completion of all program requirements, I hereby bestow on you the degree of Master of Theological Studies with all the privileges and responsibilities of that degree.
Charles Shurov Biswas.
I'm going to continue my work with House of Friendship Addiction Live and Treatment Program. A big shout out to my family, friends, Grebel friends and colleagues, and of course, all the wonderful professors for their tremendous supports, guidance, and instruction. Thank you.
Devin Hogg.
I will continue my work at the City of Guelph as a community relations coordinator, and I will continue my involvement at Dublin Street United Church and continue my Tai Chi practice.
Margaret Shirk.
I'll be continuing as a spiritual care visitor at Parkwood Seniors Community here in Waterloo.
Krista Fendal. Done.
I'd like to acknowledge the tremendous hospitality of everyone at Grebel. Thank you for that. I will be continuing some good work at Wayside Cafe, an urban social justice project in Waterloo, and I'll also hope to be hiking in the great outdoors. And I thank my friends and my family.
I invite the rest of the MTS students to stand at this point. Graduates, congratulations. The rest of you, please join me in congratulating the Master of Theological Studies class of 2024. I invite Devin Hogg to come to the stage at this point, and it's my pleasure to introduce our graduate valedictorian for this afternoon. Devin Hogg, who uses the pronouns he, him, is a full-time student in the Master of Theological Studies program. Devin lives in Guelph and is a member of the United Church of Canada. Devin was an active member of the MTS program, serving as the student representative on the Theological Studies Administrative Group. Devin, welcome and thank you for this words.
Good afternoon. I am honored to be serving today as the graduate program valedictorian for 2025. I was delighted to have an early opportunity to get to know students from both programs during a course in my very first semester taught by Johanna McCants-Turner. This course was called Nonviolent Ethics from Black Feminist and Womanist Perspectives, and was cross-listed between the Peace and Conflict Studies and Theological Studies programs. In many ways, this course was an exemplary encapsulation of what makes the graduate experience at Grebel so great. Like many of the classes at the graduate level, it was heavily discussion-based. We discussed important issues and challenging topics, collectively working towards increasing understanding and empathy, and identifying possibilities for increasing justice and love in the world. We worked to develop and model community. We shared from our own experiences and aimed to be mindful of the space we took up. We attended to and prioritized the voices of the marginalized and vulnerable. As we discussed challenges and crises that seemed hopeless, we aimed to make a way out of no way. We acknowledged the importance of the body, centering ourselves before each class. We moved class outside when the weather was nice enough, and we valued the different ways our bodies moved, perceived, and learned. Many of these same patterns hold true for the overall experience of the past several months and years MTS and MPAC students have spent studying. We have engaged with diverse topics and pursued areas of interest. We have listened with humility and learned to express our own perspectives coherently. We have participated in community, sharing meals and time together. The laughter and tears, sweat and hard work of our time at Grebel has been recognized, acknowledged, and rewarded. The time and energy we have devoted to our studies have led us to where we are now, graduates of master level programs. As graduates of the MTS and MPACS programs, I encourage us all to carry with us the values and practices we have developed during our time at Grebel, to cultivate community and curiosity, to be mindful of the dynamics of power and privilege, to attend to the voices of the marginalized and oppressed, to remember the importance of the body and the diversity of ways of being in bodies, and most importantly of all, to increase the amount of justice and love in our lives and in the world. May it be so. Thank you all.
We now invite you to rise and join in singing Creating God, Your Fingers Trace on the final page of your program.
Before I offer a prayer of blessing, I want to offer all the graduating students a scripture passage from our sacred text and some brief commentary to put my even briefer prayer of blessing into context. Listen to these words from the prophet Jeremiah. I know the plans I have in mind for you, declares the Lord. They are plans for peace, not disaster, to give you a future filled with hope. I used to think that the plans Jeremiah was talking about had to do with the where and the what. But this past Monday, when I met with the grads, they talked about the importance of relationships and wondered about where they're going to find those relationships after they leave this place. And then at the end of term talent show, they sang a song about finding your people. And I realized that the verse is also about the who. So to all of the grads, undergrads, MPACs, MTS, you all made plans of where to study and what to study, but I can guarantee you that you couldn't have planned who you would meet here. The same holds true when you leave. What I've learned from my experience is that, guided by the unseen hand of God, the future unfolds as it is meant to, if you step into it. And now receive this prayer of blessing. May you find your people. May you find your path. May you find your purpose. And in so doing, may you find peace. Amen.
Well, class of 2025, congratulations again, and best wishes from all of us as you move on to whatever comes next. A few instructions for what's coming immediately next. There will be a formal recessional out of the auditorium. This is something I often get wrong, but I think I will lead the three of us who are on this side over to here, and then the rest of faculty can follow us out. And of course, the students will rise and follow out. And when that's happening, if you're able, please rise. Students and faculty, once we've recessed, please wait for official pictures that will be taken here on stage. If you all pay attention to the instructions, it'll go faster. If you are a guest and you cannot resist taking photos now, you can take photos from the side, but please leave room for our official photographers, and those photos will be available. For everyone else, please clear the hall after the recessional. We have a reception planned back at Grebel. It's about an 8-minute walk. There will be dessert and punch, and students, your intrinsically valuable gifts from Grebel are also there for you to pick up. At that time, you'll also be able to greet the students, and if you like, you may take pictures around the college. That concludes our ceremony. Thank you again for coming, and we look forward to the celebration after.